Hello, this is Coach Tim Campbell, and I'm your host for the Self-Made is a Myth, Make a Difference Together show, where we are interviewing successful business owners and entrepreneurs to learn about their journey to developing a successful business. And because we know that business success doesn't happen on our own, we're taking some time to recognize the folks who have helped us along our journey and recognizing them, giving them shout outs, and explaining how they have made a difference and helped us to excel. Today, I'm excited to have a nonprofit business owner with us today from Indiana. My guest has a superpower of being, check this out, a mother of 7 wonderful kids. She loves to learn about nonprofit organizations and how she can be more impactful. And she's most proud of the fact that she's taken all the lemons that life has given her and turned them into lemonade. It is my pleasure to welcome Paradise to the show today. Hello, Paradise.
Hi, Tim. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for asking. Well, hey, I'd love to start with having you introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us a little bit of your personal story, right? Where you were born and live, about your family, and some of your hobbies.
Okay, my name is Paradise Bradford. I am the founder and CEO of Pretty Passionate Hands. It's a nonprofit organization that supports teen mothers and fathers. We're located in Indianapolis. And like you said, I am a mother of 7. I have 1 child that's in heaven, and I have 6 that's here on earth between the ages of 16 and 3. I was born and raised in Niles, Michigan. And when I turned 15, I moved to Indiana. And that's where I became a mother. I am an older sister of 6 brothers and 3 sisters. So I've always been like the one that's in control or the bossy one. But my family, I have 2 step parents and 2 biological parents. My hobby really right now, number 1 is being a mother. I think
Yes.
just for being a caretaker in general, I love providing services for people, whether it's family or, community. And I love music. I love to listen to music. And let's say, yeah, I'm, I think that's about it for the hobby. Yeah,
Fantastic.
it's a nonprofit. I love networking. I'll get
Yeah.
that one. I love networking.
Awesome. Tell us, is there a funny story that your family likes to tell about you that you'd be willing to share with us today?
I think maybe all of my life I've been the babysitter. And no matter where I go, no matter what events happening, anything, they're always like, she has to be in control. And I do, because there's always something that's not going in order. So everybody knows when I come, they're like, okay, here's the bossy one coming, and here I am. I think that would be a good one that everybody would say, no matter where she goes, she tries to make sure everything is running her way. It can be funny or it can be either way, but yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we all know that it's impossible to control every variable, so something inevitably is going to go wrong, right?
Absolutely.
Tell us how the business came about, and at what point did you have the confidence to be able to start your nonprofit?
Oh, so Pretty Passionate Hands came about in 2015 is when I was released from prison, and it was formed while I was in prison between the times of 2012 to 2015. And I was there at a moment in my life with a lady that was spending her life in prison. And she's like, you're not supposed to be here, young lady. I'm much younger than her. But she's like, I've seen a lot of girls come and go, and I don't believe this is the place for you. So I'm like, okay. She's like, you need to really sit down and decide what you're going to do to never come back, because I see girls come and go, but I just don't see this happening for you. So I wrote down all the things that I had suffered with through my parenting, through my childhood, and just through family, and trying to figure out, how did I really get here?
Mm.
So during that time, while I was there, I had like about 18 months left, and I wrote down in a folder all the things that I needed when I got home. And from there, I kind of branched off to all the things I needed personally, all the things that I needed for my children and family and community and friends. And I had a list of things that I wasn't going to do anymore. And this is a new thing. So my grandma always told me, it's your people, your places, and your things that control what happens for you. So I decided to take that chapter of my life and put it into full force when I was released in 2015. So that's where Pretty Passionate Hands came from. And during that time, I've always been a giver. My grandmother has always been a giver. So it's been something naturally that my grandma lived on the corner house. So when we barbecued, everybody came. And
Mm.
fortunately, every time I bought a house as an adult, it was either on the corner or maybe even one house from the corner. And so it was like that's how it was for me. So naturally, when I see the community out and they're hungry, I've always welcomed everybody into my yard. I love it when I see little girls at the store with their babies or dads at the store with their babies and he's confused on what he's buying. I naturally just jump in. So that is, I believe, where it started at the core, and that's just me being raised that way. And as an adult, I've always gave back, very appreciative with life, very appreciative to community because I didn't come from a nice, tight knitted family. So it was mostly community or people in my neighborhood that became my family. So in 2019, I wanted to open a childcare right before COVID. So it was December 2019. And I had a lot of friends of mine who were supportive, and we invested $20,000 into a childcare. And when I went to file for my paperwork, the government shut down.
Mm.
So I was like, what am I supposed to do? So I tried to think of different things to use the space for while we were waiting for our documentation for childcare, and it didn't go correct. So I lost the space a few months later, lost $20,000. And I was very depressed and trying to figure out what's going on. Had a few deaths that came in my family from my step parent. My stepmother passed, my stepfather passed, and then my brother was murdered. And I lost myself with like going to a 9 to 5. And I kind of just started laying around. I'm like, what am I going to do? I went through a couple of my folders and see my 501c3 sitting there. And I'm like, I do this naturally. Let me kind of see what this is. So I went to a networking event, and a lady was like, I was asking her questions about what are these people doing? Like, how do you use this? And she explained to me what a 501c3 was. And that was the day that changed my life. And so in July of 2022, I went to a pitch competition and didn't know what I was walking into, but I went. I Googled nonprofit on Eventbrite and was like, oh, I'm gonna try this out. So at 6 o'clock, I walk in, it's a pitch going on, and I see them give away $30,000. And I'm like, wow, that's all I had to do. Like they can do that. I know I can do this. So from that day on, the ball has been rolling. In 2022 of November, I actually got my first space. I was granted a grant through our Indiana Foundation here in Indianapolis. And that's where the ball went off from there. And so I've been going. I've been doing cohorts, been training myself. I watch webinars, and Pretty Passionate Hands has sprouted from there. So that's how we got here.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit more about the company. What do you guys do? How do you help people?
So Pretty Passionate Hands supports teen mothers between the ages of 12 and 18. If you are a first-time mom, you're also able to enroll into our services. We are located in Indianapolis, as I mentioned, and we give mentorship. We do one-on-one mentoring with our families. We do groups. We take them out into the community so that they can have access to activities or places they don't have on their own. We teach them about parenting. We do safe sleep. We do CPR. We do first aid. They are trained how to take care of their child in a crisis and remain calm. We also have doulas at 28 weeks that our mothers receive for free. We have a pantry where they can come once a week, or whenever they actually come, they can come inside and grab whatever needs that they need as a parent. We have partnered with other neighbors around us. So if we don't have those services that our families need, like rental assistant or maybe, job training, we have partners that we send them there. We're focused more on the core values of sustaining a healthy and the quality of life. Mhm.
Wow, what an amazing way to help your community. I love it. So,
Absolutely.
Paradise, share a story where someone pushed you or inspired you that you could do it, even though maybe you didn't think that you could, and the impact that that person had on you.
There's a very important person in my life that I met when I was working 3 jobs. And they're like, you can do all this for other people. What do you think you can do for yourself?
Mm.
This person, I will cry to them after I'm done. I'm like, I am exhausted. I've worked all day. I got all these excuses. I'm this, I'm that. And they like looked at me and said, when are you going to take care of yourself? If you can find this strength to put into other people's business, you can do this for yourself. So I'm a project manager, and I always work in management as well. So I just never believed in myself that I would be able to do something myself. And so I'm like, I know I'm great at fixing everybody else's problems. I know without a doubt, I'm very confident in going to a business, and don't tell me I can't do anything. I can do it. But for myself, I've always found myself very insecure. So when this person came along, they're like, listen, no, take a little time out, learn what patience is, and stand still and figure out what you like to do. And I believe that you can do anything. And I decided the nonprofit was, I just felt like sharing my story there was going to be the key value of this, but also walking the journey that my teen parents walked, you know. But that day that this person said, go ahead and try it for yourself. I got your back. I'm going to be here to support. It just took somebody to know that that scares that I had in my heart. Like, what if something fails? It didn't matter. There was someone there, and I've thrived ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome. Would that person be okay if you told us what their name is to give them recognition?
Sure. His name is Kayode Kushamani.
Awesome.
He's my son's
Fantastic.
father. And he's been very, very supportive during my journey.
Awesome. Wonderful. So what's been your biggest learning as a business owner?
Patience.
Mhm.
Patience. Patience. So I know it's different when you're making money and you're working, and I mean you're running a business for profit. That's completely different than a business you're running that's not for profit.
Mm,
Because the first thing is we have to be very patient when you're applying for grants. Be very patient where you're waiting for outcomes. Be very patient with your families, but also just be patient with the way that the business runs. It runs completely different than a for profit. So um my biggest goal that I have put for 2023 is to just remain still and not rush things. And ever since I've done that, things have come out. I mean, I don't know if that has been the key behind it, but staying still and being patient, definitely.
yeah. I love that advice because I believe it strongly applies to for-profit organizations as well, right? Because at the end of the day, a nonprofit has to still make money or get money, right, in order to be able to serve all the different areas that you're serving. And for profit, same thing, right? We all want, generally speaking, we all want success yesterday, right?
Yeah.
We all want the new program that we launched or the marketing activity that we're running to pay dividends tomorrow
Right
instead of
now.
next month or next year.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just not how it works. Sometimes there's things that we have to learn and grow through and become better versions of ourselves before we see the fruits of our labor. So I love that concept of patience. So how do you find that patience? How do you keep yourself grounded and centered on that?
I just breathe. Being a mother of 7 children, I think everybody should know I'm very busy. So I'm wanting results instantly. You know, it's like the confirmation. I need results instantly. And the biggest I don't even really know how to answer that question because I don't think I've mastered it yet, but I have seen the results of what happens when you're patient. So that makes a huge difference for me, but I don't think I've mastered it. But I do know that's the key value that I'm gonna have to learn is patience. And
Yeah,
I think running a business, you're not gonna, it
yeah.
doesn't work that way. You want, like you said, we want results.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was reading your bio on your website and you talked about your faith. So the be still and know that I am God is a great reflection moment, right? Of
Stand
being able
still,
to
absolutely.
trust that it's going to work out.
Yeah, standing still is my biggest, and my faith, absolutely praying and staying consistent, just staying consistent and believing. And that's what has worked out. I mean, every time I get confirmation, it's usually on a project that I have been rushing. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to set this to the side. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to I have control over this. And then I'll get that email and I'm like, huh, got it. So
Yes. We know that business success doesn't happen in isolation. So tell us about one of your biggest challenges as you've been running your business, and maybe a fellow business owner who came alongside you and helped you through that challenge.
I have a friend named Tierra Dotson. I met her in 2022 at a summer youth program conference that we were having for a grant invitation. And I don't know. It was like God dropped her from heaven for me. This lady is in the nonprofit business as well. And I call the nonprofit business the Hunger Games because it's like may the best men. And I will never take that back because I read the Hunger Game before and I was just like, wow, when I thought of nonprofit, I thought this was going to be a healthy relation with everybody coming together and loving the community. It is the Hunger Games. And when I met her, she was so sweet and she has never changed. She's been the same consistent friend. And I mean, she's amazing. And to walk alongside of being like we are in real life, we're best friends, but on the work life, it's not having a Burger King and McDonald's. It's like may the best man win, and we go into we go into each grant round the same, rooting for each other, and you're not going to find that much. But to actually find a genuine business partner,
Mm.
that is completely different. When she finds out stuff, she sends it to me. When I find out stuff, I send it to her. She's amazing. And you don't get that in this world. Being very supportive as a friend and really genuinely wanting to see your business grow as well as the other is one of the great things about the friendship that I have built with her.
That's awesome. I love
Mhm.
that. So I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit, Paradise. If I ask you to pick three people in your business journey that you are most grateful for being there for you to help with your business's growth, who are those three people and how they help you?
It would be Kyle Day, it would be Tierra, and my friend Kenya. And Coyote has just been there to make sure, I stay focused on what the path is for, and that's my children and
Mm.
what I'm doing and remembering what is the intention behind the growth. Yes, the nonprofit is to support my community, but it's also to leave a legacy for my children and know this is who my mom is. This
Oh,
is who my mom was. And a lot of people don't get the privilege or the advantage to be able to share their story like this. So he keeps me leveled and grounded, especially when I feel like giving up because this is really stressful.
mm,
I'm very appreciative with him. Tierra, she's that friend that reminds me of who I am. In the rooms, you can get discouraged sometimes. When you're seeing the awards going to the same people, or when you're seeing that you're thriving every day, you're getting up and you're driven for this and it doesn't work out all the time. She's the person that reminds me that actually walks in the work field with me and
mm,
say, this is where we're going. And everybody's not going to say yes. And everybody don't know who we are just yet. But guess what? It's coming. So I am very appreciative to her. And then I have a friend named Kenya who has been here in the nonprofit world with me from almost day one. Like we started in the same classroom today with her kids, and that's how we met. She has a nonprofit as well. And she and me, we sit and we talk, and I think we're on the same. She continues to let me know, even though you're past me and you're growing quicker than I am so proud of you.
oh,
I look up to you and I look at her like I look up to you. So those are the three main people. And if I could just add the rest, my children are my inspiration. If you look at my logo, those are my children and those are my hands. They're my complete world. And I wouldn't change it for anything. I do everything I do for my children.
oh, that's so sweet.
Mhm.
Um, you're bringing tears to my eyes. Paradise, as you think about the next 3 to 5 years, what are the biggest challenges that you see that you're going to face in getting to your goals, and who are the types of people that you're going to need to overcome those challenges?
The next 3 to 5 years, I am hoping Pretty Passionate Hands um believes in everybody having high quality and access to childcare. So I am hoping that our first facility will be up and operating and we are serving our families with complete intentions to change their lives and support them through their journeys. And also um I believe that we will be serving more families. And a lot of our families that are here now will be in a better success story and
Mm,
really letting people know what Pretty Passionate Hands is. I feel my biggest barrier right now, and I think that's the only barrier we're facing, is our financial state to make sure that we're still here.
mm,
I do know that we will be here no matter what, but as far as like being in the place where the families can come.
yeah.
Um, but I do believe over time and with everything that is going in God's plans, that I have a no doubt that in 5 years, there'll be, I'll say from Indiana to California will know about Pretty Passionate Hands. I do believe
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. So, how can people help? Are there things that folks listening can do to help support the mission?
Absolutely. So we have a website, it's pphchildcare.org. You can get on there, and we update our needs frequently, but our biggest needs is diapers and wipes. Obviously, we need car seats and strollers and the basic essential needs for our families. Just soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes. People really don't understand how useful that can be. Our teen parents, they're 12 to 18, so a lot of them are still learning how to be individuals, but they need the basic needs. And that's our goal, is just to provide the basic things for them to get up, take a shower, and have clean clothing on. Another great thing that we have just started this year is receiving gift cards for our families, because we don't always know what our teen parents need. And in our pantry, I feel like if I put this here, they feel like, oh, this is what I have to pick through. I want them to have their own experience, to walk into the store and purchase what they want, because a lot of our families don't even have access to be able to. Some of them only get hand-me-downs, or may go to thrift stores, or pantries, and receive things. So I want them to have that experience, to go to the store and purchase what a teen mother will want for her child on her child's birthday. And that's why we ask for gift cards. So there's more details on our website. They can always give us a call at 317-737-6435. But we're always accepting any donations. We do ask that any donations that are given to us, they're new, because our parents are not privileged to have new items. That is the purpose, is for them to unwrap and feel that this
Mm,
is mine. Mhm.
I love it. So you just mentioned something that I'm sure a lot of folks listening wouldn't even have awareness of. I think you said that your teen mothers age from 12 to 17. Did I hear that right?
Yes, 12 to 18. Yes, sir.
Okay, 18. Wow. So yeah, so there's you guys are making a significant difference in the lives of like you said earlier, people who are still kids, right? They're
Yes.
still learning how to be an adult, and now they've got the responsibility of also taking care of their child. So
Absolutely. So, I want everyone to know the difference, because a lot of people say, well, what is different with your organization? The key point in our organization is those 12 to 18-year-olds, they can't go to other organizations and get support because they're underage.
mm,
So when you go into other organizations, they want your ID, they want this. My families are coming from backgrounds that you may not even imagine, and their parents won't get up and come and sign a paper for them to get diapers. Their parents won't take them to the WIC office to sign those papers. And as long as you're under 18, you cannot sign for yourself. So what we do at Pretty Passionate Hands is, there's no questions. If they come and say, I need milk, we give them the milk that's on our shelf. If they say they need diapers, it's there for them. These are children who can't speak for themselves. And again, they're learning. They don't know how to go somewhere and say, hey, my baby does have a diaper rash. Can you help me with this? Because I'm short on cash this week. That's the difference with an adult speaking for their family and a child just saying, my baby needs diapers. You have to be able to say, okay, I understand. But when a 12-year-old tells you that, and you would think, where's your mom? Some of them don't have a mom there. So that's what we're there for. So that's what makes us different. That's what I'm pressing for the community to understand. These children do exist. They do. And until CPS, or until something tragic happens, we don't notice. And we shouldn't have to get there when, we know that maybe some of us have walked in that path, and I had the privilege of being that teen parent.
wow.
Mhm.
Just an incredible difference that you're making in the community. I'm so proud of you for stepping out of your own fears and leaning into this and trusting that God's going to provide for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And everybody can look out for us. Hopefully, we'll receive this grant for our first 24-hour childcare that provides high quality childcare to low income families. So that is a great thing that we are waiting on. So patience, standing
Yes.
still, praying
Yes.
is the next big thing. So if you guys see these nice lavender houses start popping up into your communities, that's Pretty Passionate Hands providing home child care to our families who may not even have a home. So when they come to that daycare for those 2 hours, they get that experience. 2 hours, 8 hours, they get the
I
experience
love
of
it. Yeah. Last question here, Paradise. So Jim Rohn, an amazing business guru and author, one of his quotes is that we become the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So as you think about that quote and your own journey, what advice would you have for business owners who are trying to do it on their own, who think that they don't need to ask for help or shouldn't ask for help, and that they need to do it by themselves? What advice would you have for them?
I would tell them it's impossible.
Hmm.
I believe it's impossible. No, it's very lonely at the top. So just think if you try to climb there by yourself, it's not going to be what you feel it should be. Business owners only become successful when you build a group of people around you who want the best in your interests. And you don't find that, it's hard to find it, but it's out there. And those people are not your friends. They're not your family members. These are people who you're going to come across through networking. They're going to be people that you have to be vulnerable and look at and say, hey, can you teach me that? And be okay with that. You don't know everything. And I think being authentically yourself and being able to say, hey, I need support, it will come to you. And that's when the best support comes.
I love what you just said about it. It's lonely at the top. I can't tell you how many times I've spoken with business owners and that's what they say, right? When we were an employee, we always had a manager to go to, right? And bounce ideas off of and get guidance and direction. And now a lot of folks tell me, I don't want to take this burden home and share it with my family. So I just carry it by myself, and it's stressful and it's overwhelming at times, but I don't want to scare my family and let them know what's really going on. So I just do it on my own. So yeah. So being able to have somebody to share that with and right and unburden ourselves and get advice and tips and
Yeah,
different
you need that like a
strategies.
mentor. You need it. It's very much needed in the business world because your wife or your husband does not work with you. And again, like you said, we don't want to carry that home, but it's a different language that you speak, and it's
Mm.
going to help you get over a lot of barriers that you will stress yourself about. I understood when I found my friends in networking that the questions that I will go to Google and ask, they know if they've been there. So you want to have those people around you. It's going to save you a lot of stress. That's number
Yes,
save
yeah.
you a lot of stress. It's going to save you a lot. And then again, be patient with other business owners because even though their intentions are to help you, people are busy. This is a busy world. When
Sure.
you step into entrepreneurship, you have to understand. I will keep going back to this word. Patience is a virtue. And I'm telling you, you get your friends around you, you make your networks, you find your key value people, and that's who you thrive into. What is their need that I can get and what can I give back? And I think that's been my best thing. What I find that is good for me, for my friends, I am the network. I am community. So I always send to them, and they just need to be a listening ear for me because I just need somebody who listens and give me a
Yes.
support when needed. So it balances. So definitely patience, and you have to have people around you. That's just how life is.
We bring our clients together once a quarter for a 90-day planning session. And the magical thing that happens is other people share some of their struggles or challenges, and everybody, there's like this sigh of relief in the room of, oh my goodness, I'm not the only one that struggles with that. Wow, right? There's a successful business over there that has the same challenges or similar challenges, and wow, I'm not alone,
Yeah.
right? It's amazing how much we all think that we can't be real and honest, and so we keep it all inside. And then once we understand that we're all on the similar journey, it allows us to let go of that fear and just embrace it and open up to others, right? And have those conversations and share best practices and help one another along the journey.
Yep.
Paradise,
So
sounds like you've had some pretty incredible people in your life that you've been blessed with, so that have helped you on your journey. If they were all here on the show today, what would you want to say to them?
I would tell them that I love them with every cell in my body. And I wouldn't be here without their support, genuine support. And I appreciate them every day. And outside of me texting them every morning to let them know how much I appreciate them, I would like to tell them on this show, I wouldn't be here without you guys. And I love you.
Oh, I love it. um, Paradise, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
To everyone who tuned in, thanks for listening to the Self-Made is a Myth show with your host, Coach Tim Campbell. Be sure to help us spread the movement by liking the show and posting about it on your social media. And to join our movement, go to bemadtogether.com. All right, folks, that's a wrap. Make sure to pay it forward, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.